Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So if you look already, I have an article open here that asks the question, what would bring me back to the Division 2? This article is written by a gentleman named Paul Tassi. He's a contributor with Forbes, and he's written on the division since the Division 1. So he's not new to the community. He's not just writing an article based on some arbitrary thing. I think he has some experience with the game. Now, before I continue this conversation, I know that PvP has its struggles, but this conversation might not really be helpful for the PvP community. So a lot of the things here and a lot of what I'm going to be tracking on are PvE related issues. And so if I were to ask you this question, what will bring you back to the Division 2? What would your answer be? What exactly, in the PvE side of the game, will bring you back to the Division 2? Now, you can leave in the comment section as we walk through his article and his reasons, and I'll also share my reasons as well. So first of all, he writes that he would like to see an across-the-board skill buff, which that is happening. Even the Firefly skill was actually buffed, and so we're going to see some improvements in this area. So if you're in this boat saying, I'd like to see an improvement to skill, or I'd like to see a rework of skills, then I guess this has answered your question. So right now the PTS is out there, and so just keep your ears to the ground and watch what's going on. Maybe you might be interested, maybe you might not be interested, maybe it's not enough to pull you back in, maybe you've moved on and whatever, but that's fine. You're the gamer, you get to pick and choose when and what you play. So that answers this question. Now, the second one is sets worth chasing. Now, this one was kind of one of those things where I thought to myself, if I had left the game, which I'm not leaving, I still like the game. There are aspects of the game that I have issues with, like the raid matchmaking and all that, but I've voiced my concerns. But there are sets that are actually worth chasing in this game. The only problem is they're hidden behind content. And so with that being hidden behind content, people like myself who have, 45 minutes of, grind time in different bits and segments, because I have to attend to things around the house, got to take care of my family and, still have a life while I still make content for YouTube. I have to, just resolve myself to saying I may never get those brand sets because I don't have the time or I don't have the commitment to doing the raid. And so there are sets that I think that are worth chasing, but I just cannot get a hold of them. Now, I'm not saying I'm entitled to getting those brand sets. Nope. But if they say, oh, you know what, we're going to make activities where now these brand sets are, things that people can get after a specific period of time. So now the raid has been out for a while. Well, why don't we start putting those brand sets in the general population? Then I'll be very enthusiastic of jumping in and finding those brand sets. But if they don't, I'm not going to sit here and complain. I have enough brand sets to deal with, and so I'm fine with that, and either way it goes. So I think that's probably something a lot of other individuals might be thinking about, because the raid did lock out a huge amount of the community. And I think this revealed something too with the division. And don't get me wrong when I say casual and hardcore, because as much as people may say things about casual players or people who play casually or whatever, I think being a casual player is actually okay. Fine. Hardcore players may say, well, it's so sad that, the gaming development teams cater to casual players. But the older we get and the more we get responsibilities in our lives, we become casual players. Very few people hardcore game past a specific time in their lives because it's just not what grown-ups do. We game, at this age, but at the same time, you're still going to become a casual gamer at some point in your life. And so another thing too is most casual players are the general population of many of these kinds of games. So if there weren't a big base of casual players, the developers will not get paid, because if you wanted to count the hardcore percentage, it will be 1 to 10% of the gamers. They cannot produce multi-million-dollar games with a 1 to 10% of a specific community being only the participants. It's not, in a business sense, it's not worth it. So if they casualize these games, they are doing it to cater to casual gamers, because that's how they're going to increase their profits. So think about it from a business sense. And that's my spew on sets worth chasing. All right. His third one was Underground. Underground was just pretty much farming activity from the Division 1. And he speaks on if he had something like that, he would be happy to come back, because the raid was not something that he could participate in. I said, yeah, in my mind, I think, okay, that's worth looking into. And if you look right now on the PTS, there are actually three activities. There are two missions, and actually there are three missions that have been added to the map. And I feel like these missions should have been added with the raid to give a lot of the community something else to do while trying to figure out what this raid was all about. Now, I'm not saying that would have removed the concerns and the arguing and the different positions of things. No, but at least it would have provided a secondary source of enjoyment and content so people didn't feel like they were locked out. That's one of the problems. I think I think our developers need to be able to put their pulse on their thumb on the community and feel the pulse of the community much more than they already are. So they need to be much more proactive. I think they're more reactive than anything, but whatever. It's just a recommendation. It's not like anybody, whatever. And then the final thing is the specialization reworks. So his deal here is that the specialization just feel really bland or whatever. I don't know what he's talking about here, honestly. Fundamentally, I think constant specialization is a good idea, and yet the entire system still feels half-baked to me. Even after they keep adding new ones, the weapons themselves feel out of place with the rest of the arsenal due to limited ammo being blah, 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 blah. The ammo thing is being reworked. I don't know when he wrote this article. He wrote this article on the 28th of June. He really has not played the Division in a while. But all in all, I wanted to use this as just a platform to ask you guys and ask those who have left the game, who had some issues with the PvE, to just answer candidly. I mean, be respectful. Just put it in the comment section. I would be very interested in hearing what people think. I personally will continue to play the game. I've played the Division for such a long time. I kind of understand how things work in this community. And yes, it's not trending. It's not raking in the views. It's not doing all this stuff. But I understand that there's a commitment underlying for them to make the game better. And right now, a lot of people who were saying a lot of things a few weeks ago are probably by the next few weeks going to be on the wrong side of the argument because of the way things just change. And so because I understand that change, I stick with the game. I've seen some comments of, people saying, recommending that I take on other games, and I'm open to it. If not, in fact, I'm actually covering other games. I have two other YouTube channels, shameless plug, where I cover Mortal Kombat. It's on my recommended channels. If you look on the right side on my homepage, I cover Mortal Kombat, and very soon here in a little bit, I'm partnering with another content creator to help and provide some real in-depth content on Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA. And so I am covering other games. I'm just not covering them on this channel because the way the YouTube algorithm works, it's really strange. Okay, I guess I'm gonna get out of you guys' hair. Get to the comment sections if the comment section if you're interested, and let me know candidly what you think the developers can do, what you think can be changed to bring you back to the game if you already left. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.